the prosecution did a good job of showing that these people all were in on this, that they were aiding and abetting the singer because they were told to also follow these rules that were so strict that if they didn't, their pay would be docked. So in a way, the prosecution tried to say that these assistants were, not that they were groomed themselves, but they were part of this criminal enterprise that ran for decades. We heard from 45 witnesses that the prosecution called, including 11 accusers, 6 who were underage at the time that R. Kelly met them. Many of them testified that R. Kelly knowingly gave them an STD but did not disclose that to them during their time of intimate sexual intercourse, and that he also refused to wear a condom many times, that he also videotaped them without them knowing or against their will. We heard a lot of abuse that they succumbed to at the hands of the singer, things like being tied up or not fed for days, or being locked up in rooms if they did not follow certain rules and protocols that he liked. I know I sat in court for about a week, and we listened to conversations that allegedly he had with several of the survivors, saying that if they didn't behave a certain way, act always excited to see him, call him daddy, he would punish them. So today was a day of vindication for a lot of the people, a lot of the survivors. Some of the people that testified, though, here, we do have to make it clear that they were reluctant to testify, that despite everything that they went through, they had a soft spot and still have a soft spot for the man, but it's because prosecution says years of grooming, and that's what that conditioning does to you. So even though they were reluctant to testify, they got justice in a way, but there's so many other survivors that have come forward and were not listened to for many years. And I know we spoke to several family members that we would watch them come out of the courthouse and talk to them about why some of their family members did not want, or their sons or daughters that did not want to speak about the abuse they went through, and it's because of victim shaming. And one of the ladies that we interviewed, BNC interviewed, Kenyette Barnes, who founded the Mute R. Kelly movement, say it's because of people really calling these victims the fast ones, or the ones that initiated the contact, but they never questioned R. Kelly. Everyone was getting blamed except the singer. But today, that day has come to an end. He has been found guilty on many of the charges, and we are waiting to find out how many years he will face in prison after evading these charges for about 3 decades.
Yeah, no, we are expecting for him to be decades behind bars. And Astrid, you've been covering this for weeks now. Like you mentioned, 45 prosecution witnesses. What are some key moments that stood out to you when covering this trial?
Well, it was really interesting to see, as a mother and of course as a female, listening to the women take the stand. Some of them, like I mentioned, really reluctant to testify against him, and even after they contracted an STD from him, still wanting to engage in a relationship, feeling that they could change him, feeling loved by him if he treated them nice or flew them out. And it's also really sad to know that that they felt like this was love, that they felt that this man cared about them. So I think it also goes to show, from speaking to experts, how much help these women are going to need, how much support they need to receive in order to come out of this on the other side and not feel like this was something normal. And it was also interesting to hear some of the young girls too, that from the first moment that R. Kelly tried something on them, they knew right away that something was wrong and refused to work with him. And they had, that know-it-all, or that gut feeling, saying, hey, I don't care if you're promising me fame and fortune or a record deal, something is off here. But something also that was really off-putting to me as an adult, and I mentioned like as a mother and a woman, is how some of these assistants that worked for Kelly for years, 16 years, can just excuse his behavior, and they were booking flights for these young women. So if you're booking a flight, you need that birth date information. And they also checked into music studios where he required them to show ID and sign an NDA. So many people knew that R. Kelly liked to surround himself with young women, especially underage women and underage boys, but they never said anything. They stayed working for them, and they made excuses for his behavior. And obviously R. Kelly is the one that's guilty of it all from the prosecution and the case that they put on. But to see people make so many excuses and still continue working for the man is something that was really shocking to me as someone, as a female, as a mother sitting there in the courtroom, and as a journalist, that these red flags were raised and no one really did much about it.